So today we're making cheesy hash brown casserole. It's loaded with hash browns, cheddar, and sour cream. It makes the perfect cheesy, creamy bite. It's so easy to make because it's just a dump, stir, and bake. All right, so before we get started, let's thaw out a 16-ounce bag of hash browns, preheat your oven to 400 degrees, and butter a 9x9 casserole dish. All right, let's get started. Let's shred 1 8-ounce block of sharp cheddar cheese. I love this hash brown casserole because it's super simple to make and it's extremely savory and it goes well with any breakfast dish. I even eat it for dinner. Casseroles in the South go hand in hand. Buttery, cheesy, well seasoned. Push your cheese to the side and let's grate 1 medium yellow onion. Cut off your root. Discard. Use your box shredder to grate your onion. Be careful not to get those hands. All right. Scoot your onions to the side. Let's chop a 1/4 cup of chives. All right, guys, we are working with double onions. Chives are not, of course, is not as oniony as a medium yellow onion. Chives just add an additional oniony flavor to it. And a chive, of course, is a milder onion flavor. All right, so let's reserve a little bit of our chives for the garnish and reserve about a 1/2 cup of your cheddar cheese for the topping. Okay. We're gonna put the rest in the bowl. Okay. Let's clean up our cutting board. To the bowl, let's add our 16-ounce bag of thawed hash browns. Let's add a 1/2 cup of sour cream. A 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. 1½ teaspoons of sweet paprika. A little heat from the cayenne and a little smokiness from the sweet paprika. A heavy pinch of kosher salt, 2 pinches. And a heavy pinch of cracked black pepper. Okay. Let's add 1 egg. A casserole wouldn't be a casserole without an egg. Let's give it a mix. And that's it. That's all the ingredients that go into this cheesy hash brown casserole. So simple, but the flavors are going to be incredible. And if you want, you can also add a little meat to this. I suggest using some country ham. You can use breakfast sausage, you can use ham, you can use bacon. I mean, it's the ultimate breakfast casserole. This is mixed up. Let's pour our mixture into a 9x9 casserole dish that has been buttered. The reason we buttered our 9x9 casserole dish is to make sure that, of course, it doesn't stick, but it also gives our cheesy hash brown casserole crispy edges. I love crispy edges. As a matter of fact, I only eat the edges. Let's add our reserved 1/2 cup of cheddar cheese. Spread it evenly across. All right, that's it. Let's head over to the oven. All right, let's pop this into our oven that's preheated to 400 degrees. Hit pause and meet me back here in 45 minutes. All right, it's been 45 minutes. Let's take our casserole out of the oven. Ooh, look at that. Cheesy and golden brown. All right, let this cool for 5 minutes. Hit pause and meet me back here. We're gonna try our cheesy hash brown casserole together. All right, I am ready to try this. I know you are too. You can cut them into slices if you're serving it for your family, but it's just me right now, so I'm gonna cut a generous slice for myself. Oh, look at that. Okay. Add a little sour cream on top, dollop, and top it off with more chives. Oh. Let's give it a taste. Oh, that's incredible.
To start, I am just shredding up some corned beef. And corned beef is brisket that's been salt frying with spices until it's really tender and flavorful. All right, now this is shredded, I'm gonna slice up an onion. So I'm just cutting this onion into nice thin slices, and these will mingle about with my shredded potatoes. And I like these larger pieces as opposed to chopping my onion because I don't want them to get stuck in the waffle iron. And now I'll add 3 eggs, which will help bind the mixture together. And now I'll grab my shredded potatoes. Now I prefer to buy the pre-shredded potatoes from the store because those potatoes have had moisture drawn out of them, and that helps the hash browns get crispy. So I'm gonna add 5 cups of these to my bowl. And you can use frozen or thawed. If they're frozen, they'll thaw pretty quickly. And now I'll add a few good pinches of salt. You gotta salt your potatoes well. And lots of black pepper. Now I'll mix this all together to combine. I wanna make sure that the egg gets completely distributed throughout the mixture so that it all holds together in the waffle iron. Okay, I've got an even dispersal of potatoes and corned beef. This is looking good. I'm ready to waffle it. I've got my waffle heating up hot, and I'm gonna grease it so that the waffles don't stick, and this will also help it get crispy. And now I'll add 2 cups of my mixture to the waffle iron. That's a good sizzle. I'll just zhuzh it around, get it evenly spread out, and then I'll press down the top. I'll cook it for about 10 minutes until it's golden brown and crispy all over. Oh, I can't wait to bite into these. Okay, I'm gonna check on it. Oh my gosh. I wish you could smell it. It's so golden and crispy. Okay, I'm gonna keep on waffling now. Look at this gorgeous stack of waffles. Okay, now to finish these off, I'll top them with some fresh chives, just for a pop of freshness and some color.
Okay, so Desayuno is breakfast. You know, I love some breakfast. GZ, if you could help me, you're just gonna slice up the scallions, white and green parts. I like both. And then finally chop the cilantro right there and in separate bowls for me. This starts with a potato base. We're using a muffin tin. You know, you can go to the grocery store and you buy that steamable bag of potatoes, you know? Get it into the microwave.
Oh, you can, yeah, you microwave them right in the tater bag.
Right in the bag. And I've got a bag already microwaved here. You see I've already begun. And these are gonna be your small potatoes, right?
Yeah.
You're not gonna go for big ones. Those are ones that are usually in the microwavable bag anyway. Just get it right in here. This is nonstick, all right?
Okay.
So, Sunny, you could just like boil some little potatoes, right?
You could, but they'll be like waterlogged. And I really think a steam situation is even better. So, you know, even if you wanna kind of like roast this in the oven first and then smash it down, it'd be better. But yeah, if hey, push comes to shove, it's tailgate. No one's gonna be like, these bites are waterlogged.
Yeah, exactly.
No one's gonna notice.
The hydration of your potatoes
Just
is a
give
little
them another
unacceptable.
beer and they'll think they're
Exactly.
delicious.
Yeah, listen, shut up, Donnie. Here's a wing.
So now if you'll see, I'm using a shot glass to just push this down.
Oh.
And then
you
pack
see they're
the
like,
shot glass to take to the
and then-
tailgate.
exactly. Fill up the shot glass,
you
throw it
see
down.
these potatoes are the perfect size for this. I saw something like this on social media and thought, oh, we can make this into breakfast. So let's do it. All right, so I've already got these loaded up. Now then I'm gonna start filling them up, but first I wanna talk to you about the protein, the meat part. Since this is desayuno, why not use some Mexican chorizo?
Chorizo.
All right. Mexican chorizo. It's flavorful. It's got lots of garlic. And if you ask me, it's the best fat ever, that orange fat.
It is. There's not enough orange fat on the planet.
There really
It's
isn't.
kind of
Lacking
Leonardo.
blue foods and orange fat.
That's it, man.
Paprika coming
My
in
next
there.
cookbook, actually. It's 2 pages long.
So look, I've just gotten that onto some paper towel. Just kind of let it hang out for 2 seconds, not too long. And then, just so it's easy scoopage
Look at that.
off of that. Look at that.
Can I have
Look,
the paper towel?
yeah.
This right here is the good
Lick
stuff
it.
right
You
here.
want to start a fire?
Yeah,
You want to start
light that up.
You want to light your smoker up? That's what you use right there.
Exactly. First thing you want to do is some cheese. Why, Jeff?
Because it's going to help you from sogging up that potato. It's going to create a nice little
Can I ask
cheesy
a question?
barrier.
Yes, you can always ask a
Could you
question.
put like an egg in that?
You could totally
Bake
put
it,
an egg in
and
here.
then do this on top?
Yeah, the egg might take up a lot of space, so you'd have less room
Square
for other
footage. Yeah, I get it.
toppings. Yeah.
You know
but
what you could do?
definitely
You
an
could
egg.
take the eggs, whisk them, and just put a little bit of egg in each one. You wouldn't have to
Scramble.
put
Oh, like a quiche.
Yeah, you
That's
wouldn't have to
right.
put a whole egg in
You
each
know,
one if it took up too much
That is
space.
an excellent.
Matter of fact, you
excellent
could
idea.
whisk the eggs with some salsa, which is what I'm doing right now. I'm putting
Now
some
you're
salsa
talking.
in over the cheese, and then just go in with our chorizo and spoon in.
This is a
So
great.
there's no egg in this whatsoever.
No
No.
egg. The cheese does all of the holding together and binding that you're gonna need.
And Sonny, I'm just thinking ahead here. This muffin tin's gonna be great for transporting it
It's
to the game.
excellent for
Just wrap
transporting.
it all up.
I would argue you're gonna need more than just, what's this, 3x4, 12. But yeah, you can stack them. More cheese.
Oh, Sonny.
of course.
Are you sure this is Desayuno?
Yeah, this is definitely Desayuno. This is definitely breakfast, okay?
Oh, that's my kind of breakfast. Cheese
Listen,
and chorizo.
have you ever had a Papa's taco, like a potato taco?
Yes.
It's just
Oh, yeah,
potato and
yeah.
chorizo. I mean, this is it without the tortilla.
Especially when they deep fry the whole tortilla.
Mm-hmm.
Ever have that? Oh.
Just get that in there. I'm
Is that
kind of
little
pushing
spicy?
it down a
Is that
bit
spicy
too.
salsa that you used?
It's not super
It's
spicy,
medium.
but you can do mild or spicy. And just know this is the Mexican blend of cheese that you can get at the grocery
Oh,
store.
yeah.
You know, you could really mix that up with different flavor profiles too. Like if you wanted to do breakfast sausage
Yep.
or Italian sausage and just put your own combination on it.
Oh, I could totally. What are you doing? 'Cause
It's happening.
Say
it
it,
just hit me and
Jeff.
it needs
Say
to come
it.
out.
Say it.
Pancake batter in there.
Yeah.
Boom. Or like a
Oh.
waffle batter with like crispy maple bacon. Bake it all. You don't even need
Cheese?
the
Can
potato.
cheese come
Yeah,
hang
you can put
out?
a little cheese
Because
in
you know
there.
sometimes you go to the fast food places and they'll have like the cheese, the sausage, the pancake, you know,
Okay.
all in one box.
Well, you know what I'm thinking is you do the pancake batter, and then you have a squeeze bottle of maple with the butter in there, and you kind of inject it so when it bakes
good
up,
idea.
the center is all gooey.
So what do you guys like to do for a game day breakfast?
You know, usually it's like coffee and hair of the dog, you know, like a little swizzle of like whiskey in there. And sometimes, like, that's why I like making this. It's like, what can you pick up on the way? You'll just like fast food join it. But if you're meeting people, this is way better. To
I
show
like
them,
the
actual
bringing out the
food.
flat top and doing just bacon,
Yep.
eggs, just everything on the flat top.
Oh,
you know,
the
a little-
smell of that bacon
right?
wafting
Gets
through the
people-
parking lot. What about
And
you,
tortillas.
Jeffrey?
I eat the same breakfast every single day. Eggs, avocado, some honey, some fresh fruit.
That's
Okay,
good.
well, you could put some
good.
eggs in here
Yeah.
and avocado
Why not?
later and
Yeah.
put the
Lot of
honey in
eggs.
your
I'm
coffee.
an egg freak.
All right,
So
so
am
I love
400
eggs.
degrees for about 15 minutes.
GB Diesel.
Yep. I'm gonna put this in here.
Oh.
Oh, it's hot.
All right.
I mean, you could do this on your grill and smoker, right? Correct?
Oh, yeah.
Or whatever
You
you
could.
got going.
You
at
can take it like
the
that, you
tailgate.
warm it up, you throw it in the grill, and you get to the parking
That's
lot.
right.
Oh, definitely. Or just cook it right before you leave the house. You get there, it's still warm.
Look at them Crispies.
Here they
Oh,
are.
pop it out.
Dare I
Right?
say, this drink is perfect for this.
It's a great pairing.
Yeah.
You know what I think you could do with this? Like, if you're just making this at home, put it in a freezer bag in your freezer,
Pop tart,
and you
like a
want
pop in
like
the
a good quick breakfast on a weekday, you can eat one of these.
I think that's great.
I
And
would
some scrambled
agree.
egg on top for breakfast.
Obviously, you want to let these sit for a minute and
Sonny
they'll
just
set up.
went in.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you let them set up a little bit longer. It's easier to get them out and they're not going to fall apart on
We
you.
don't have
little
that
scoop
time,
of sour
Sonny.
cream
Okay,
on
enough with the
these?
ideas of setting it up.
Sonny, what would you think of a little spoonful of sour cream on
Well,
it?
it's right there. It's going to
Oh,
happen.
asking you shall receive.
It's going to happen.
Classic corned beef hash, and I'm gonna start by roasting the russet and sweet potatoes. I peeled them and diced them pretty small. I'm getting them onto a sheet pan and just drizzling with olive oil, really simple, and plenty of salt and pepper. So I'm just gonna toss it with the bench scraper, and then let's get the potatoes into the oven, Alex. Ready? Boy, we're walking to the oven a lot. 425 degrees for 18 to 20 minutes until the taters are nice and roasted. Okay, the potatoes are almost done, so I'm gonna move forward with the skillet situation. I've got some chopped onion and some minced garlic, and I've just got a little bit of olive oil in the pan. So I'm gonna stir and start the cooking process for this. And while that starts to cook, I'm gonna get the eggs going. So I'm gonna make sunny side up eggs. And I always wanna have plenty of time to get the eggs cooked since they're not gonna be flipped. It takes a little extra time. So I've got some olive oil in a little skillet, and I already cracked the eggs. And I just poured them right in, and I'll sprinkle on some salt and pepper. There is nothing like a sunny side up egg. So I've got this on low, and I'm just gonna let these eggs sit and slowly cook. All right, so the onions and the garlic are cooking. So I'm just gonna keep stirring these around for about 3 minutes until they start to soften. All right, the onions are starting to soften. So I'm gonna add the corned beef since this is a corned beef hash. So to this, I'm gonna add some grill seasoning. Just any old grill seasoning is fine. And then a little bit of Worcestershire sauce. Oh yeah, and look at these eggs so far. Wow. Oh, there's wow, thanks for the, finally, for an enthusiastic reaction today. Alrighty, so I'm gonna let this start to cook. And let's go to the oven and get the potatoes, Alex, okay?
To the oven again. My legs are getting tired. Wow.
Roasty potatoes. All right, and then I'm gonna scrape the potatoes right into the skillet. There we go. Woo! I love hash for breakfast. It's frugal, it's delicious. Okay, look at this, Alex.
Wow.
How's it look?
It's looking and smelling amazing.
It is, so I'm just gonna let it cook for a good couple of minutes in this hot pan to get the edges kind of brown, and then we'll serve it up. Okay, Alex, get in here and look at this. Look, this is what you call corned beef hash. Nothing fancy, just celebrating all of the ingredients for what they are. And the mix of sweet potatoes and russet potatoes are kind of a nice little interest. Okay. I'm leaving that towel there because I'm gonna put this hot pan right here so we can see it. So I kind of polled the kids, and I was asking if I should break up the eggs before I add them to the top of the corned beef, or if I should just slide them on in, and they chose the slide option. So let me move some of the corned beef to the edge because we don't want to lose the beauty. Ready? Oh my gosh, please. Thank you.
Smells like brunch. Now I'm going to make hash brown poutine with hollandaise and fried eggs on top. So I am going to start off by crisping up some bacon. I mean, it wouldn't be brunch or breakfast without bacon. I'm going to render this bacon, get some of that fat out of it. It's going to be the start of that flavor. And I'm going to cook my veggies and the potatoes in this bacon grease. All right, so my bacon has rendered down. I'm going to take out the bacon, reserving the fat. Ain't nothing like hash browns cooked in bacon fat. All right, with that reserved bacon fat, I'm going to add some diced onions, diced green bell pepper, and diced red pepper. Merry Christmas. I got some of my house seasoning here to help sweat these veggies down. Bacon, peppers, onions, smells like brunch. Now I'm going to add 4 russet potatoes that I've peeled and cubed, and I par cook these by boiling them for about 4 to 5 minutes. Now I do that because once it gets in the skillet, it's gonna cook faster and brown faster. Gonna add a little bit more of my house seasoning. Because I don't put a lot of salt in my house seasoning, I like to add just a little bit more salt because potatoes need the extra love. Oh, this kitchen smells so good. It's the onions and the peppers and that bacon grease. It smells holly and jolly. My potatoes have cooked. They're nice and browned. So I'm gonna add that bacon back to the pan. Smoky, salty goodness with those potatoes and veggies. So I don't want to mix it up too much because I don't want the potatoes to break down. And now I'm going to add my cheese curd so it gets nice and melty. And now I'm going to make my easy blender hollandaise sauce. I have some melted butter that I need to grab, and I'm going to add 3 egg yolks, a little Dijon mustard, a few splashes of hot sauce. It's a little tangy, a little spicy with that hot sauce, a little lemon juice, not too much. I'm gonna turn the blender on and slowly add in my hot butter to help emulsify the sauce. I'm slowly adding in that melted, unsalted butter. So I'm blending this all together because it helps thicken up the sauce as well. Let the blender do all the work. All right, so I can tell that this has turned pale yellow in color, and I can tell that it's thickened up, so I think it's ready. All right, I just wanna give it a taste. Look how thick it's gotten. Perfect, a little tangy, so it's gonna go really well with those potatoes with that cheese curd. All right, so the next step, I'm gonna fry some eggs. And I'm gonna create like a fried egg disc to go on top of these hash browns and cheese curds. Okay, that's 1 egg. I'm gonna use 6 eggs in total. It's kind of hard to please everyone for Christmas, you know. Gotta meet in the middle. So what I'm gonna do is fry this, but not fry it too hard because I still also too like a little bit of runny yolk in the middle and a little pepper to season. So this is pretty much fried exactly how I want it. A little bit of that egg yolk in the center. What I wanna do is just slide it right on top. I'm gonna drizzle with my hollandaise sauce. Nice little drizzle there. Garnish with some chives. And because we're in the South, a little sprinkle of hot sauce.
Waffle maker hash browns. I've got some frozen hash browns and I let them thaw and I kind of broke them up and separated them. And I'm gonna mix in some melted butter and salt and pepper. Very, very simple. You can see that the hash browns are pretty dry, even with the melted butter. That's because after I thawed them and broke them up, I put them in between paper towels and really squeezed out the excess water. That way the hash browns will get nice and crispy. Those are all mixed together. So now I'm gonna build the waffle maker hash browns. I've got the waffle maker preheated. It's on medium heat. I don't wanna burn the potatoes. And I'm gonna spray the waffle maker really well with non-stick cooking spray, just to give myself a fighting chance. And then I'll grab a 1/2 cup measure and see how that quantity is for each well. I think that is gonna be just right. So I'll stick the hash browns in first. And then I'll get to work. I wanna spread them out. You really need to work it right from the beginning and get them all distributed. Oh my gosh, I bet these are gonna be so good. Cheese, of course. I'm gonna add some cheddar. I'm just doing a nice light layer. It's probably the only time in my life I've ever added a nice light layer of cheese. And by the way, light is a relative term. Okay, I'm also gonna add some meat. I've got the thin deli ham that I used in the omelet. And I wanna put it pretty much where it's gonna stay because this stuff is not gonna move around once I shut the waffle maker. Okay, last one. And then I'll put hash browns right on top. I'm not gonna stick quite as many on the top layer. Okay, I'll close the waffle maker. Oh, listen to that sizzle. Now I'm gonna let them go for 15 minutes and then we'll see where we're up to. I am so excited to see what these hash browns look like. I'm in love, absolutely in love. They smell so good. Here we go. Oh my gosh, they're so crispy and sizzly, and one is definitely not gonna be enough. I'm gonna get another one.
I got a tailgater's best friend right here, the slow cooker.
Ooh, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm making a slow cooker hash brown casserole. Now, you can bring this dish to your game in your slow cooker, so make it at home, and then it'll just stay warm on your way there. So we're gonna start off with a bag of frozen hash browns. You don't need to thaw these out. Just put them straight into the slow cooker, frozen.
That's great. You don't need to grate them, peel, grate, squeeze out the water, none of that. It's all ready
just the
to go.
potatoes, ready to go. And you know, this is kind of inspired by, you probably know about this, Jeff, the Midwest dish, the hot dish.
No, I've never had that. I mean,
hot dish?
Chicago's its own
Really?
country in the Midwest, I like.
Okay, well,
Kind of-
in Midwest, there's a lot of casseroles that are made with usually the little potato tots.
Yes, right?
Yeah, so we're doing it with hash browns, and I'm making a Western omelet-inspired one.
Oh, I love
So I've got some onions going in there, just chopped onions. Ham, a little diced ham.
Ooh.
Now, you could jazz this up however you like. If you don't want ham, you could put some cooked sausage in there. That would be good, too. Some bacon, or you could just make it all veggies. Red bell pepper, and I've got a little grated cheddar cheese here.
Oh, the cheese just goes right in there.
Yeah, it just goes right in, and then I'm gonna make what binds it all together. Kind of like when you make like a French toast casserole,
Like
you
a
always
custard?
have the egg, the custard. So I've got 6 eggs here, some whole milk going in.
I love this.
Yeah, and then I put in sour cream for some
Oh my
extra
God,
richness.
we're hitting all the buttons here, all
Yeah.
the Midwestern. Where's the ranch go?
Kind of like ranch, doesn't it? All right, I got a little garlic powder going in there.
This is like
Let's
kind of a
put some
quiche, no?
salt.
It's kind of quiche-y.
It could be, yeah. Yeah,
You
or
keep
like
your fancy
or like
foods away
a
from football.
Spanish frittata that has
Yeah.
the potato and egg. Now GZ's gonna like it.
Exactly.
I'm liking it already. I didn't understand it.
Yes, now you do.
And some black pepper. You want to be sure to put a good amount of salt in this because this is your only chance to salt the potatoes, really. And those, as we know, need a lot of salt. So just really whisk it up, get those egg yolks all mixed together, get the sour cream all in there.
What's the furthest you've driven for a game? Because the cool thing about the slow cookers is, yeah, it holds the heat
10
for about
minutes.
2 hours, but you can also get those car adapters if you're really looking into it.
Yeah.
'Cause sometimes when I'm on 78 going to a game, I'll see a car coming from Pennsylvania.
Oh, you
That is
got-
a long drive.
Okay, some cream cheese goes in there as well.
Oh, that's like
Why not have a little bit more dairy going
Are
on?
you seriously just
crazy.
put cream cheese in there?
And just give it a gentle whisk. The cream cheese, you're not gonna get it all the way mixed in. It's okay. It's kind of nice to have some chunks of it in there because it gets
I
nice
thought
and
that was mozzarella when I
ooey-gooey.
saw that.
Same here, same here.
Hey, that would be good too. You could do like an Italian version of this and there'd be nothing wrong with that. Okay, goes right into our slow cooker.
I love a
Just like
dumpling
that.
cook. This is gonna be awesome.
And then I'm gonna mix the whole thing.
What?
And it's gonna look soupy, but the potatoes are gonna absorb that liquid and it's gonna turn into this wonderful creamy casserole. It's got actually everything you need for breakfast in here. Your eggs, your potatoes. This is also great. You got house guests. Put this on, and in the morning, everybody has breakfast right there.
Well,
You're
if
gonna
you
crinkle
properly
some bacon over the top? Because you said there's everything we need for breakfast.
Well, ham, there's ham in
Okay,
there.
there's ham in there. I missed that. All right, I'm
Okay,
ready.
so this goes in the slow cooker, 4 hours on high or 6 hours on low. I've done it 8 hours on low as well, and it works. It just starts to get a little bit done. Now, I like to top it with some freshness, so I've got some green onions here. I'm just gonna slice through those nice and thin.
Wait a minute, Katie, you said you go 10 minutes to a game. Where were you and what game were you going to?
In Huntington, West Virginia, to the Thundering Herd, Marshall University.
Shout out!
Yeah, everybody there likes to tailgate. That is the big thing to do on the weekends. All right, here we go. An hour before it's done, put your cheese on the top of it. Some more cheese,
Oh,
'cause
more
we like
cheese.
lots of cheese. Half hour to an hour, it'll melt.
If it's
Look at that!
Oh, that just came
Look at
together.
that. Let's top it with some of these. And then I like to serve it with a little hot sauce. Just a little sprinkle of hot sauce there. And then, Jeff, do you eat ketchup on your hash
No,
browns?
not at all.
No,
Please do
okay.
not do that.
Then I won't put any on yours.
Nope.
I like ketchup on it.
gonna come right out with it. Look at this. That thing is, look at that. It's like
That's substantial.
That is substantial. This will get you through two hours from now when you dip into the
When it's
sausage.
cold outside.
It looks so hot, I blew. I don't know what that was all about.
Look at
I really did.
I felt that. Oh man.
My chorizo and tot breakfast burritos. They are hot, melty, and meaty. Truly the ideal handheld situation. I'm starting with one of the most important parts, the tots. And I'll bake them for a really long time so that they get extra crispy. Like, ignore what the package says. No offense to the package, but you wanna get them super, super, super crispy so that they hold up in the center of the burrito and they don't risk getting soggy. I'll season with a little salt and pepper, and then I'll bake at 425 degrees for 30 minutes until they're dark brown and crisp. While the tots crisp, I'll cook up my chorizo. I've got a skillet here heating over medium-high heat. I'll add a drizzle of oil. I've got 8 ounces of pork chorizo here, which is smoky, a little spicy, and so, so flavorful. I'll break it up with my spoon into little pieces as it cooks. As this finishes up cooking, I'll chop up an onion, just get more flavor in there. I'll stir this around and allow the onion to soften. I kind of like a breakfast burrito that's been sitting around for half an hour because everything melts and steams together. The onion is soft and the chorizo is fully cooked. I'll remove it from the heat. Just set it aside in my bowl. I'll wipe out my skillet because I'll use this to cook the eggs too. I'll return the pan to the heat. I've got shredded mozzarella, which is super melty, and it's mild, so it allows the chorizo to shine, and my big flour tortillas. All right, so to cook this is a really fun method. I'll add a drizzle of oil to my pan, a quarter of the chorizo and onion mixture, and then I'll pour in enough egg to cover the surface of the pan. These are just beaten with salt and pepper. I'll tilt it so that it goes all the way to the edges. I'll sprinkle with cheese. And I love using mozzarella here. It's melty, it's mild. And then the cheese and the egg, which hasn't fully set yet, will help glue on the tortilla. Before the egg fully sets, I'll press the tortilla on. And I should mention that I'm doing this in a non-stick skillet, which makes everything easier. I'll brush the top of the tortilla with a thin layer of oil. Once the egg is fully set on the bottom, and I know that by wiggling the pan, and it's no longer sticking to the pan, it's ready to flip. So I'll get under here with my fish spat, and swiftly, I'm gonna commit, flip it. Dun, da, da, da. I'll allow the tortilla to get golden crisp on the bottom. I love the way that the tortilla gets lightly fried. Now that the tortilla has some brown color on it, oh, it looks good. I'll slide it out of the skillet, grab my tots. Those are beautiful. And then pile tots right onto the center. Drizzle of sriracha. And then I'll roll this up to a tight little package. Oh, yeah, that looks so good. But I need the sauces first. Gotta have salsa. I love tomatillo salsa with this because it's so bright. And then I figure if we're having tots, let's just go all in and have ranch on the side as well. Ready for this cross section? Ready for this crunch? Oh yeah. That looks good. Oh yeah. Now we're talking. Here I go.
The main centerpiece of the meal is a potato basil frittata. So in the pan here, I've cooked about 2 cups of boiling potatoes. They're the firm, round ones rather than the baking potatoes. And I peeled them and just cooked them in a little butter for about 10 or 15 minutes until they're really just tender and browned. And they should be perfect right now. Now I'm gonna make the basis of it, which is this gorgeous omelet all mixed together. I'm gonna start with, just like an omelet, 8 eggs. And I actually find that you can use whatever's left over from dinner. If you have chicken and broccoli the night before, it makes a delicious frittata. Counting. One more. I'm gonna just scramble them a little bit. And then we're gonna add lots of great flavorings. About 15 ounces of ricotta, which is 1 whole small container. And then 3/4 pound of Gruyere cheese. Gruyere is wonderful, like Swiss cheese. I know, it's eggs, cheese, and butter. It's delicious. How bad can that be? And then a little bit of butter. The last major food group. I'm not suggesting you eat this every day, but once in a while for a treat, it's wonderful. And then basil. I think basil is just such a great flavoring. So I'm going to just take the leaves off the stems and chop them very roughly. I love the smell of fresh basil. And then the last 2 ingredients are 1/3 cup of flour to give it a little substance, and 3/4 teaspoon of baking powder to make it rise. Wait till you see this when it comes out of the oven. It's all puffed and golden and brown. It's really a showstopper. And it's this easy to make. So, I'm going to stir this all together. Make sure it's nicely blended. Cheeses and the basil and eggs. And that's it. I'm just going to pour this right over the potato. And then this whole thing goes in the oven. So instead of making individual omelets for everybody, I have one big omelet and we're all going to share it. So it goes in the oven at 350 degrees for about 50 minutes to an hour, and it's going to be puffed and golden and delicious. Excellent. Oh, how gorgeous is that? Whew. And just in case you're all still hungry, I have a potato basil frittata.
What's in this, Ina?
It's potatoes and basil and Gruyere and ricotta, and it's beautiful. Devin, ricotta. There are a lot of voices coming from over here. It's hot, hot, hot.
Oh, fantastic. Are there leeks in it?
Thank you. I think that one.
I started with 5 pounds of red potatoes, and I just chopped them up. They don't need to be perfect. And then I'll throw them into a big bowl. I think I'm feeding, well, I don't know how many I'm feeding. I always plan on a big crowd. That way I always have enough. And then I've got 2 onions, and I just chopped them. I left them pretty big, and I'll throw those in with the potatoes. These are really hearty breakfast potatoes. They bake in the oven, but they get really sizzly and flavorful. I'm actually getting hungry myself. Then I'll mince up about 8 cloves of garlic. Gives them great flavor. Okay, now for extra yumminess, I've got a couple of bell peppers, 2 red and 2 green, but you can use whatever colors you want. Okay, got the peppers all chopped. Now I'll throw those in. I just like them to be in big, rough chunks. You don't have to meticulously dice them for this dish. Okay, now I'll add 1/2 cup of butter, otherwise known as 1 stick, and then the same amount of olive oil. These are gonna fry in the oven, so the butter allows them to get nice color, but the oil lets them fry and get real sizzly. Okay, now I'll add a good amount of salt, a really good amount of black pepper. You know how cowboys feel about this. Good amount of seasoned salt. That adds a little saltiness, but also a few other flavors too. And then for some kick, some cayenne pepper. I add cayenne pepper to about 85% of my recipes. Okay, and then I'll just toss this around, get them all coated. I would have used a spoon, but it would take me a lot longer. I'm not afraid to dig in there, get my hands dirty. Okay, that's all mixed together. Now I've got 2 big baking sheets, and I'm just gonna spread the potatoes on each one. I'm using 2 because I don't want to crowd the potatoes. If I crowd them, they'll just steam and they won't get crispy and fried. Okay, that is a lot of potatoes, but I guarantee you they're going to be gone. Shake them out, get them into one layer. All right, now I'm going to start baking these at 425 degrees for about 25-30 minutes. These are going to be an awesome start to a delicious hearty breakfast. These potatoes look so good. They smell divine. Oh my gosh. Now, instead of taking 2 different baking trays out to the guys, I'm actually just gonna combine them into one. See if I can do this without dropping any. Oh man, they are perfect. They've just got that nice golden color.